What's going on, folks? As you can see, my 2021 rods have arrived from Abu Garcia, and today in the Bass Basement, we're going to do a breakdown of why I selected these rods and how I feel they're going to make me successful on this year's Toyota Series with Major League Fishing. It's all coming up. Well, they're finally here, and when they get delivered, this is what they're in. They're in cardboard tubes. Let's open these rods up and let's see what I got. First, let me get my trusty blade, open these up, and pull them out. That's done. Let's look at these rods and see what we got. All right, folks. First series of rods is the Abu Garcia Veritas. And before I go into the strength, the action, the length, and the purpose that I'm going to use this rod for, this rod is special to me because, well, why don't you watch this and see why. That's right, folks. I was part of the advertisement for Abu Garcia's Veritas PLX rod. That PLX stands for Powerlux resin, which makes this rod 15% stronger and 5% lighter than the previous Veritas version. And this is going to get the job done. This rod right here is 7'4" in length, medium heavy, 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce in baits that you can use with this rod, and also 12 to 20 pound test, but you can vary that when you are using braid. I got this rod for close quarter flipping. That's when I'm flipping grass, when I'm flipping boats, docks, marinas, things of that nature. Specifically when I'm throwing a jig or a creature bait. That's what I got this rod for. Staying with the Veritas lineup, this right here is a 7.3 heavy, and this rod handles 3/8 to 1.5 ounce baits and 12 to 25 pound test and line. And I specifically got this rod for my frogging. So this is a rod that I'm gonna use when I'm throwing a frog around grass and lily pads and things of that nature. And I'm 6'3", so I don't need a very long rod when it comes to frogging, unless I'm casting a long distance. So 7.3 usually fits the bill for me. Folks, when it comes to power, this is going to be it right here. 7'6", fast heavy, 3/8 to 1.5 ounce in weight this rod carries. And this is going to be the rod that I'm going to do a lot of punching with. I'm going to throw that 3/4 ounce to ounce angler tungsten weight on there. And I'm going to use that Revo Rocket 10 to 1 so I can precisely hit those areas, and I can feel that bite and jack and get in the boat. Talking about close quarters fishing. This is it right here, folks. This is gonna be my punching rod. 7'6", fast, heavy, Veritas. Super light, gonna get the job done. I can put this in my hand all day and not get fatigued, and that's what you want to get those fish and stay focused on catching those fish. This is gonna do it. This is gonna be that workhorse. Staying with the Veritas, but moving to spinning. setup. This right here is one of the 7-foot moderate action, medium power, a 1/4 ounce to 5/8 ounce, 8 to 17 pound test line is gonna go on this rod. And this rod right here, I'm talking about dialing it in. This rod right here is going to be my spy bait rod. I have learned in the past with that spy bait, you have to reel very, very slow, and you have to have a rod that is able to take that hit, because you're usually getting bit a long ways out or halfway between your cast and the boat, and you want to be able to really set the hook on that bait. It's such a small bait, but this is going to be the setup that I'm going to use, and I'm going to go with a spinning reel that is a winch series, so it's going to make me reel slow. This right here has a parabolic bend like a crankbait rod, and this is going to do it right here. So now I can also throw small and light crankbaits on this rod as well, but this rod I specifically got for my spy bait setup. I can make long casts with it, I can count that bait down, and when I get a strike, when I set the hook, the rod is going to do all the work. And that's why I got this rod right here, and that's what's going to do the job for me. Fishing a lot of northern lakes where there's a lot of smallmouth. Smallmouth are always shallow, and at some point in time, a spy bait is going to come into play, and I'm going to be ready. Stepping away from the Veritas lineup for a sec, I'll talk about those in the future. I got more coming in, but one series of rods that I was really excited about was the winch series. And this series is a series of rods where you can use those vibrating jigs, chatterbaits, lipless crankbaits, shallow to deep diving crankbaits, depending on the length of the rod. And this rod right here is 7 foot, medium heavy, moderate fast, 1/4 ounce to 1 ounce in bait size, and 12 to 20 pound test in line. I specifically got this rod for those vibrating jigs, those chatterbaits, where I can make accurate casts around docks, in marinas, around cover. So where I think a fish is going to be at for a good ambush to hit my bait, that's why I got this rod. So very light, has a good tip on it, and it's going to give your baits, when a fish strikes it, that delayed reaction, so they can really get that bait in their mouth. And when you set the hook, those hooks are going to connect and hook those fish real good, where you can fight them and get in the boat. Very excited about this rod. Looks like they have some very fine detail in it as well. Have a semi-cork handle, and I'm very excited. Nice and light. More than likely, I'm gonna throw a 6.6 or 7:1 gear ratio Revo STX, and probably gonna go with 17 pound test on that chatterbait setup, and that's what's going to do the ticket for me. Look forward to throwing this around. Very light, and I think this rod is going to give me a lot of success. Well, there you have it, folks. That's just a little bit of my upcoming delivery for 2021 with the rods that I'm going to use. Very excited with that Veritas PLX, as you know why. Great rod, great price point, right under $100. There's no other rod on that market that's going to be that light, that strong, that sensitive, under $100. Check it out. You got my stamp of approval for that rod, and it's going to do it for me. You're going to see a lot of those Veritas rods on my deck, and it's because I have confidence in it, and it definitely is going to do the tricks. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell every time you see me here in the Bass Basement, and I'll see you next time.